one of the crucial things that society needs to do is transcend all of its negative thinking. It puts a negative spin on just about everything. So to reverse that trend, to begin, let's find particular instances that culture has pejorated, is that a word? Made negative, put a negative spin on, and let's reverse it. Let's find particular instances and put a positive spin on it. Let's try this one. Piece of coal. So culture says, oh, if you're bad, all you're going to get for Christmas is a lump of coal. Okay, well, look at this piece of coal right here. It's beautiful. Look at that. It glistens in the sunlight. It has beautiful fractal patterns. There's little rainbows and prismatic reflections of the sun. The coal does that. It takes the coal, the black, beautiful background, to reveal all of the luminous tricks of light. You can't have dark without light. You can't have light without dark. You need coal to reveal sunlight in this particular way, and it's beautiful. And it's also, here's a mind trip, it's also you. You are not different from a piece of coal. Now, when we think about oneness or awakening and all is one and so forth, Adyashanti he's a spiritual teacher. He has an interesting anecdote about awakening, and he says, I heard a bird singing, and then suddenly I realized that I was the bird singing, and I was the bird song, and I was the person experiencing and hearing the bird song. All is one. And then he walked over to the stove to check it out, and he said, I'm also the stove. And then he walked into the bathroom, and he checked out the toilet, and he says, I'm also the toilet. Okay, well, that's pretty amusing, but what does that mean? How are you the toilet? Okay, I get it, all is one, but does that metaphor, let's extend the metaphor, how are you the toilet? Let's forget about the toilet, because I don't know how you're a toilet. I mean, I suppose you are, but I haven't thought it through. How are you a piece of coal? That one I like. I can tell you that. Look at the piece of coal and look at the fractal patterns in it. Look at the particular ways that the little cells, we'll call them cells or whatever, little pieces of it are lined up in straight little rows, and they're bumpy and curvy and fractal. So they're straight, but they're crooked. They're lined up, but they're askew. And your cells are aligned in the exact same way. Ever look at your cells under a microscope? In high school biology or wherever? Or some grouping of cells, or not your cells, but, organic DNA, you look at that. Organic cells, you look at that. And they're lined up like that in straight little rows, but they're curvy and bumpy and wiggly. They look just like a piece of coal, the way that it's aligned. The little pieces are the edges of it. You are the piece of coal in that exact same way. It doesn't mean that you are the coal. There's not some metaphysical, maybe there is. But I would tend to, this is going too far. So let's say this. There's not some metaphysical experience where your consciousness can leap into the piece of coal and start viewing the world as a piece of coal. I suppose that's possible. But it's not too useful to think about it. It's more useful to think about, how are you like the piece of coal? How are you constructed out of the exact same things? The exact same carbon atoms. Your edges are aligned in the exact same way. It's organic matter. Look at all the ways in which you're similar. And look at all the ways in which you're beautiful. Just like the piece of coal. So somebody tells you you're going to get a piece of coal for Christmas? Well, first of all, look at that beautiful thing. Second of all, it's just like me. Because all is one. So take the negative thing, put a positive spin on it, and then show how it reveals the interconnectedness of all the universe. That's spirituality, seeing you, yourself, and the joy and the beauty and everything. Everything. All of the 10,000 things. There's billions more than that, but that's what the Buddha said, or the Taoists, when they originally discovered the interconnectivity of all things. That's one of their sayings. All is one, but you are just a representation of each of the 10,000 things, or words to that effect.